Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Nini and I am going to share my not thought out or organized way of annotating, I guess. So if you watched my reading book talk videos, I shared a copy of Bunny that my friend had annotated for me. Or she annotated it and then I annotated a different book and we swapped, and it was really fun. And we are doing it again, except last time we read like thriller-y books, or more like books that kind of just mess with your head, however you want to describe that, because clearly I do not have the words for that right now. But this time we decided to read YA fantasies, which I'm very excited about. That used to be my shit. Less so these days, but I'm excited to like get back into it and read more new YA fantasy books, you know? So my hair's frizzy, I'm so sorry. Actually, it does not affect you all, so I'll be reading Afar Wilder Magic by Allison Saft. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Look at that cover. It is so pretty. I love the illustration. I love the bright color for the title and how the illustrations interact with the title very subtly. One of the prettiest book covers, truly. Oh, this thing's important. I just realized that. The illustrator for this book cover is M. Allen. Beautiful. I love book covers. Yeah. YA fantasy. Let's get into the synopsis. When Margaret Welty spots the legendary Hala, the last living mythical creature, she knows the half-moon hunt will soon follow. Whoever is able to kill the Hala will earn a fame and riches and unlock an ancient magical secret. While Margaret is the best sharpshooter in town, only teams of 2 can register, and she needs an alchemist. Weston Winters isn't an alchemist yet. He's been fired from every apprenticeship he's landed, and his last chance hinges on Master Welty taking him in. But when Wes arrives at Welty Manor, he finds only Margaret. She begrudgingly allows him to stay on one condition: he must join the hunt with her. Although they make an unlikely team, they soon find themselves drawn to each other. As the hunt looms closer and tension rise, Margaret and Wes uncover dark magic that could be the key to winning the hunt, if they survive that long. In Afar Wilder Magic, Allison Saft has written an achingly tender love story set against a deadly hunt in an atmospheric, rich fantasy world that will sweep you away. That was my teacher reading voice, if you will. Oh wow. Okay, I was a graphic design major, and I really wanted to get into designing books, fun fact. But I just realized the pattern used for the book end pages, if you can see all that, is the same yellow as the title, and it's a really beautiful way of connecting those two things. Pretty. But I have started reading the book. I have some annotations already. What I'm using for my annotation. For annotation, obviously, my book. It's a hardback. It makes it a little easier. I have these clear sticky notes that I'm going to write summaries and thoughts at the end of each chapter, and they're transparent-ish. Very cute colors. This is the color palette I picked out for this book. Not sure if you all would agree with that, but I thought it fit kind of well. I do not have a key or anything. It's just based on my mood. And then the pen I have to use is just this ballpoint pen, because I tried using my favorite pen and it was like bleeding off and getting on my hands. So that was a tough and annoying lesson. But those are what I'll be using. I just took a closer look at my pen because this is one I got at work, and it says middle school matters because I am a middle school teacher. Not cringe at all. Yeah, so since I've started the book, I'll give you my first impression so far. I'm enjoying it, but I feel like the writing style is one that takes me longer to fully get invested in. What I've noticed in a lot of YA fantasy books is that a lot of the writing is focused on the descriptions of, you know, the setting. Sometimes the world, sometimes not. In this case, the writing is very, very pretty, very verbose for a YA book. I've read many that are like really fast paced, not heavy emphasis on describing what exactly is going on in the background. It's very character heavy and plot heavy, whereas this is extremely atmospheric. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just how it is. But because it is so focused on setting that tone, it does take me out of the story a bit. And that is just my preference with books, especially fantasy books. So what I've noticed in these first few chapters is that we're just thrown into the world. A lot of names of creatures, names of race or cultures, religions are kind of just tossed in, and I don't really know what's going on, but I'm putting it together very slowly. So I guess it's more show versus telling, since we're not getting a info dump at all. It's very naturally woven into the story as the characters are explaining their positions within the world and their goals and stuff like that. I'm on chapter 3 or 4, and we have two perspectives. We follow both Margaret's and Weston's. Is it Weston? Yeah, Weston. Both of their perspectives, and we're slowly seeing their stories intertwine. As of right now, I prefer reading from Weston's perspective, although it's written in third person POV, and it feels like we're not fully in their head, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just the way Weston perceives Margaret and how he's interpreting things, I think is more fun to read, because I think he's misinterpreting her, kind of. So it's kind of cute, especially knowing that they're going to fall for each other eventually. But yeah, those are my thoughts so far. As for how I'm annotating, it's honestly really random. I'm not color coding anything. I'm just commenting on random passages with any colors I want. And this is in the beginning, so I'm not trying to spoil anything, at least not too heavy. But yeah, just very sparse. At the end of a chapter, I will just share my initial thoughts, at least in chapter 1, and maybe predict some things. There's definitely no real system, but I don't think you need a solid system to just enjoy the act of commenting on the book and trying to let your friend know what you think. So that's it. I just LOL, I like her. Why is it blue? Because I felt like it. No deeper thought. Head empty, a little summary that she can like take off and read since it's on the text. Oh yeah, he didn't make the best impression right there. next day on this reading vlog. So yesterday I was able to read up to chapter 7, which is page 74, and I'm definitely enjoying the book a little more. Most of my tabs are not color coordinated at all. They don't correlate to an emotion or feeling or anything like that. They're just pretty colors, and a lot of commentary. Honestly, I was a bit confused with the world building in the beginning. Again, the author really just threw us into the story and the world, which is fine. It's just, it took me a while to figure out who was what religion and how that affects them and why these people are treating them a certain way. So there is a big discussion about religion in this world, and I think it's pretty interesting. But overall, still enjoying the book. My goal is to maybe get to the halfway point today. My really big goal that I don't think I can accomplish is I would love to finish it today, but I don't foresee that happening. So yeah. Right now I really like Wes's character a lot more than Margaret's, even though I am very similar to Margaret in the sense that we like things in a particular way. We like quiet, we don't like our space to be disturbed, stuff like that. So I get that, I relate to that a lot. But maybe it's because I am similar to her that I find her chapters a bit more boring to read, because I understand her so well, I guess. Or the voice is just a bit dialed back, because that represents her personality. Whereas Wes's perspective is really cheeky, fun. He's very energetic in comparison, and I think has been really fun to read. So in an earlier clip, I did call Wes out on his like flirting and his F-boy personality. And this passage is not making that side of him any better. He's thinking back to his past, and he says, his days of slinking around like an alley cat, kissing girls out on the fire escape or in the park, hungrily swallowing every sound, would be over. Because he is now in the rural area with Margaret, and this reminds me of another passage earlier where he was just calling all the women around him beautiful, and they're like, where is he? He's like, oh, they probably are thinking about me because I was complimenting them like that and misleading them. So that's not, don't toy with people's feelings, Wes. Not the sentence saying. A girl around his age leans against the check-in counter, half hidden by the fronds of an oversized plant. On any other day, he's sure he'd flirt with her, but right now, he can't seem to notice a single thing about her. Yeah, because your mom just got in an accident, dude. Stay focused. It has been a week since the last time I checked in with you all about my reading progress with A Far Wilder Magic, because I really don't read a lot of physical books throughout the work week. I typically read my ebooks or audiobooks because my work days are so long, and weekends are for physical books, right? So making very slow progress. I finally hit page 100, and I really am enjoying the dynamic between the two characters. I think they're really cheeky, fun. I like how they're opposites. We have like pretty grumpy-ish, loner-ish type of girl with a sweeter, charming, sunshiny boy. And there's just this one part where Wes is talking to Maggie about thinking through signing up for the game a bit more. And she says, "I'm not afraid of dying." He responds with, "Well, I am." She meets his eyes steadily. "I wouldn't let you." That's kind of cute. I like that. I really like that for them, for her. Yeah, I'm going to see how far I can get today, and hopefully I can share more of my thoughts with you all. And if I don't, well, I don't think I'll finish the book today, but we'll see. I think one of my favorite things about A Far Wilder Magic so far is that our two characters, Margaret and Weston, have very different home lives, and seeing their reaction and empathy towards the other within their perspective chapters is really heartwarming. I think the author did a really good job with creating such empathetic and understanding characters. And I don't know, there's something really heartwarming about the way Margaret is viewing Weston's home life and his relationship with his mom, and vice versa. There's something really lovely how Weston realizes that Margaret must be so lonely, and maybe a little sad that her mom is away, and validates that, hey, it's not normal to be by yourself for that long. So I really do like that aspect of the story. Hi. Don't mind me, just here making rice. I just got off of work. It took an hour, 50-ish minutes to get home. I'm tired. I have my pants unbuttoned to breathe, you know. Check in, a little update on how my reading is going so far. So I'm still working through A Far Wilder Magic. I am enjoying it more and more as I continue the story. Okay. So the pacing of the book is kind of preventing me from becoming fully invested in this world and these characters. It's definitely a type of concept that I could see myself really binging, but in the synopsis, there is this huge emphasis on the hunt for the Hala, which is this like being, this type of mystical creature, if you will. It's called a demerge, maybe demon, maybe something spiritual. It depends on the religion within the story, but basically our two main characters are working together to go and hunt it. And that's a huge part to the story. The characters are stressed about it, they're preparing for it. The synopsis says that it's going to be this like really impactful event, a really important event. And I'm almost at the 50% mark, and we're not even close to starting the hunt. And that's honestly really affecting my enjoyment of the story, because I want to see the characters grow, bond, and just how they act within that event, because that's the type of story we're supposed to be getting. But we're just taking a lot of time to build up to there. So right now, Wes is working on creating a tool with his alchemy that is strong enough for Maggie to use to kill the Hala, because they're really, really hard to kill. And then Maggie is kind of just, what's she doing? I think she's just trying to deal with her emotions and her potential feelings, jealousy towards Wes. And he's also questioning his feelings about her. It's not, that part isn't a huge part of the story. They're kind of just coexisting, learning how to work together, stuff like that. But yeah, I think I think the hunt is slowly starting. We're going to begin with a like alchemical challenge, something like that. So Wes has to show his use, his skills. They're doing it in front of everyone. They're doing it with all the participants. But I think after that, Maggie will have her own solo event. So after 2 events, I don't know how many chapters we have to read to even just accomplish those events. After that, we will finally get to the hunt, and then we will see what kind of connection Maggie might have to the Hala, because I don't know, she be seeing some stuff. It makes me feel like she might have a connection, but I could be completely misinterpreting the story. And yeah, I don't know. Right now, it's feeling more like a 3-star. Like, it has a lot of potential, but it's just not the perfect story for me. Rice has been washed, measured. I'm gonna cook it because I'm freaking hungry. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Last check-in. I'm back. I was pretty bad about checking in after like the halfway point of the book, but I finished A Far Wilder Magic and I annotated it, and now that I am all done, I think it was a very okay young adult fantasy. There's nothing awful about it. It has really lovely writing and pretty fun character dynamics with the very sunshiny male protagonist and the very like serious and stern female protagonist. It references Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood a lot, which I enjoyed. But I feel like the marketing of this book, saying that there's a magical secret, a mythical hunt, and a love that could risk everything, with this like really fairy tale-esque styled illustration, set me up for failure with my enjoyment of this book. It was not a bad book. I think it's a solid 3 stars for me. There are a lot of things I liked in it, but there are also a lot of things that I wish were done better. I enjoyed the conversation and commentary on religion and bigotry towards different religions and how that was handled. I think it was done really well. What really frustrated me was the pacing of the plot. This book is supposed to be about a hunt, and that didn't happen until the 90% mark of the book, and it was a very small portion, even though they were working so hard to get there. The characters' affection and love for each other was cute, but felt very rushed. It felt like it lacked some depth to me. But maybe that was me not fully connecting with the characters. So I definitely can see this being more of a me problem and not the book. A lot of people enjoyed the book. I think as long as you go in with the mindset that this is a romance heavy book, a very sweet romance book, more so than like a high fantasy or like a fairy tale like book, then you'll be fine. I wanted a world that was a bit more fleshed out, and it didn't meet that, but it's really more on me than the book. So I would definitely still give it a chance if you are into YA fantasies, if you like the idea of alchemy and all of that. It's definitely enjoyable. It's just not for me, and that's okay. So thank you for sticking along to this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.